So first was the Death Note video. Second was me just comparing Brian and Charles to other bad things I've watched, heard of, or things that most people would assume is bad because I researched the fan base for half a year. Blah blah blah. I want to forget the stuff I learned. It's useless information. Either way, this is the third one in the trilogy of reviews of things I've seen recently. JoJo's Blizar Adventure. I watched it because apparently people claimed it was like an influential piece of media. Oddly enough, I was going to get around to it later, but I remembered some weird disturbing thing I saw on Adult Swim, tracked it down, turned out it was the worst episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Then I decided to watch the first episode of the season it was from, and I liked it. I was hooked. After it was repulsive, and the repulsive episode, I'd say, was, if you get past the disturbing imagery, it's just kinda okay. Well, here are my thoughts on them in order I watched them. First, I watched part 3, Stardust Crusaders, and oh boy. I usually say Dio and this Dio is what I like to call the shitty TV villain, aka it's like this. I am in the shadows. I will show my true power in a few episodes. Then they will die once I've sent individual people to them because I'm an idiot. Like, I like the mystery of what is Dio's power. Like, it was called the world, so I like, when they showed how a chance could be boats, cars, I'm like, oh, it's probably the planet that they're on. Because it's based on its name and what he was doing to pull it off. I'm like, oh, was he mutilating his and other people's position on the planet? Now what's going on? Then I'm like, wait, he can insta-kill people? I'm like, oh, it's stopping time. That's much less threatening. So my thoughts on overall is I liked how the fights in it were like legitimately tense. Like I actually felt like they could die at any second. And the first 10 or so episodes were like, was like the feeling of anyone could be our enemy kind of feeling was like really enjoyable. Again, and when Dio actually came out, it just felt like this like larger than life figure like going after them. It just felt like this like built up thing of like it's like unstoppable. Not unstoppable, more like this thing they've talked about a lot, actually doing something. I had this weird feeling of this guy finally doing something. Again, basically, Jotaro wanted to save his mother from dying of disease in 50 days, brought on by her stand, which was brought on by Dio. And then I watched part 1, and it was good, but not as good. I don't remember as much about it. Again, it had like this awkward, plunky middle bit. Then I watched part 2, which was also pretty good. I cannot do in depth because I watched these a while back. And after watching part 2, I used to say, again, I like the characters in it. Ultimate Charge is like, oh, I really saw this. Ultimate Charge is going to be like a stand user in the end or some crap. And that was what was going to happen. It was like, oh, you now must fight a stand user. But no, it was like he became the ultimate life form and started like changing his biology and throwing it at him. I don't remember much about the Pillar Men as villains. It felt kind of like, I am powerful, I want to cause the pain. Kind of crap. Then there's part 4, which, you ever want to see a villain kill a protagonist? And genuinely be concerned as to how the hell there are 3 more episodes left of this with them dying? Be my guest. Overall, I saw it more recently, and I think I saw it a little bit before June. I liked it. I think it's my favorite of them, or it's because it had some more memorable episodes. I like the one where they had to fight where they were hunting for a rat. The one was like the Koichi and the hair woman, I forget the name of. Was uncomfortable, but not as bad as Set Alessi was. At least there's some nice character development instead of like pain for half an hour. And it just kind of felt like, oh, quick, we need our villain to like be deadlier than Dio. I know, give him the power of insta-kill and plot armor. That should do it. Then there's part 5, which I saw recently. I'll be able to go a bit more in depth with it. Not by much. If I did it right after I finish it, I'm able to like describe more of it. Like I like the characters again. Still well animated as the other ones were. The final battle was kind of disappointing. It felt like, oh, they're about to fight. Is the Doppio guy with the like weird split personality where he's like, oh, is this a phone? This is a phone, right? Like, that was like really funny when I realized that the guy doing that was the main antagonist. Like, I actually laughed. Like, wait, is this the main villain? What is this? This is ridiculous. I could beat this guy. He's not even that threatening. Like, apparently there's 2 people in his body. Apparently, again, the final battle felt like it was like obstructed by like Silver Chariot Requiem or whatever it was called. Like this beard fedora metal man looking thing that was holding the arrow they needed and caused a body swap where they actually respected the intelligence of the audience, which I'm pretty sure has only happened like like a couple other times that I don't know of. Like, I don't know. Like, and then after that I felt like, what are we doing now? We killed him like 5 times already in weird ways that don't line up with existence. What are we doing? Oh, we're fighting this weird purple-haired man that controls a fucking rock that kills you if you're carved into it and you touch it. It talks about fate and crap. I saw Budarashi died, or his body died. What are we still doing? I thought he was dead. No, let's drag it out for 2 more episodes and have this weird, awkward fight that was unexpected. I'm like, okay, is it done now? Then there's 1/3 of part 6. It was interesting. I like the idea. It felt kind of stupid. I was like, oh, I escaped prison. My father's kind of dead. Let me go back in prison and get revenge. Yeah, get someone to investigate in the prison. I don't know. Just like get your name cleared and go to investigate the prison. Does that sound easier and more efficient than, no, let me go walk back into prison like a moron. We need the plot. That was dumb. Then there was a bunch of raining poison frogs and them almost dying and blah 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 blah. I do not know. I looked it up and apparently the main villain Poochie resets the universe. And then it looked up what the most recent villain is, and it's some guy called Santoro Feku, who if you walk close to him, who you want to go kill him, you just die on the way of getting there. Because he causes bad luck or some crap. Like, how do you fight that? Like, it's not as bad as the Insecure guy from part 4, but like, the criteria is a lot less specific, so you die and have a higher chance of dying. I guess if you can like walk closer, then just get it off your mind and just think of like walking, of like trying to follow the guy and chat with him, or like just think of stalking him and don't think of directly going against him. That might work. I don't know. Like, alright, I guess, like, the only character I guess that could, like, fight that guy is the Dark Presence from the Tabs full release. Because the Dark Presence from Tabs, you cannot hit him with a physical object. He'll just, like, repel it or take it. If it hits him, he'll take almost no damage. So, yeah, the Dark Presence should beat that guy in a couple seconds by, like, slamming him into the ground. Yeah, when I see a villain that's not overpowered, I try and think of what character could actually beat him. Either way, I'd recommend you watch it.